What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kim.
And you are watching Tabletop Turtle, the trash or treasure game show. The game show where we take 10 games and we decide whether or not to treasure them or we trash them. You press the button and then it's gone from the collection. And the goal is to get rid of at least half of the games in our collection, because if we don't, we have selected a friend who has picked a game and they've put it in the mystery box. And if we don't meet that threshold, that game, whatever it is, it's gone. So let's get started. And first up is the 2 to 4 player game Emberhart. Emberhart is a family-friendly worker placement game where you stick different workers under your family crest to determine priority on a shared action spaces, all to rescue dragons, recruit heroes, complete contracts, and do your best to make the world better for dragons. The beautifully illustrated Emberhart. It is one hell of a looker. This is a really good looking game. I just wish I wish the mechanics were as beautiful as the box and the art in this game. I think this would be great for an individual who is fairly new to worker placement or who wants a really light worker placement game. That is what this is. There are some interesting aspects of it. You know, I like the fact that your workers are essentially these like little family crests, and you place workers underneath those. So you can place a certain amount of them to get more further up on the chain when you want to activate that area. But that concept, and the workers themselves can sometimes, they can be grunts, which you have to discard at the end of the round, which I enjoy because it's a tough decision space to be in. Or they can be specialized units that you can upgrade throughout the course of the game. But that enough, it's not enough to elevate the game beyond what I feel is fairly mediocre. I don't know.
That was a very eloquent way of saying what I would just say. I don't like this game.
It's not a bad game.
We actually have a lot of Minecraft games, and like we love most of the games.
We do.
And even as they start veering to more family-friendly games, we loved Ironwood. But maybe, I don't know if I'm just a dragon hater, because I didn't like, what was that game called?
Flamecraft. Like Dwellings of Eldervale, that has dragons.
Oh, yes. It's like top 5 games for sure. But all these simpler dragon games, like all the cute dragons in the world don't make this game great.
It's not as simple as Flamecraft. There is stuff here. Like I really like.
Really?
Yeah, there's elements that I really enjoy.
Place your worker. I think I don't like the simple decision space of just where to place your worker. That's not enough for me. Or the same for Railroad Tiles, where to place your tile. That is not enough of exciting.
I think you're the type of gamer that requires more mechanics than just one. So like a pure type of a game, like this is a pure worker placement game.
Not for me.
It's not be enough.
Well, it's basic.
Yeah, because I don't think beyond that, there's not a ton that this game is doing that's that impressive. I like the heroes that you draft on your turn. They have to be coupled with a dragon and attached in order to gain the player power.
Fulfillment aspect. Like
yeah, that's
like
good too.
Scoring stuff. Like there are those things that make where you place your workers kind of interesting.
Yeah,
but you're right that I think I just need more than that one main mechanism to make a game. To sell me in a game.
Yeah, and my big gripe is that you have this like you have this dragon meeple that you could also place out, but my issue is that like strategically it doesn't matter when you place it out or where you place it out. Like there's no bonuses to placing it at specific times or specific places. It's simply like you place it out and you get shit. You get whenever you've upgraded that dragon to be, you get those resources. And it just feels like the designer has like taken away one element that could have made the game a bit more interesting, and it provided a bit more depth and interest to my decision. But yeah, as it stands right now, I don't know. What should we do? All right.
There was no question about it.
It's a really pretty game though. Oh well.
Would you marry someone that's just pretty?
Yeah, I married you.
How rude.
And next up is the 1 to 4 player game Railroad Tiles. Railroad Tiles is a lightweight tile drafting and route building game where players select tiles from a shared offer and add them to their personal rail network to score round by round objectives. So Railroad Tiles, it's a good game. The problem is it's just not a great game, and I have been told that there are many expansions to this game, and we didn't play any of them. We just played the base game. And the base game, it was a little lacking.
Yeah, is it boring?
I wouldn't say it's boring.
Is it boring to me? So the whole game, you're basically picking tiles and then you're placing them into your map to extend. And the part I had an issue with is the main mechanism of the game was fine, but as the game progressed, it was the same thing. As the rounds went on, you pick new tiles and you keep expanding your map. You pick new tiles and keep extending your map. The game felt like it's just lacking a bit of depth for me.
Yeah, it has that, like, the quirk is the King Domino style drafting, where if you pick first, you know, you're gonna have to go last next round. But that's not enough to make the game particularly interesting. It was a relaxing experience, but eventually, when you start playing this at least the base game, when you start playing the base game enough, all plays just sort of bleed into one another. I mean, you can't differentiate with them because they all felt exactly the same.
And there's so many games in this space that do such similar things like King Donald that I absolutely love, and it's a great filler game that the length of time this game plays for just feels like a little downhill path.
I like the objectives. I think the objectives are pretty well done.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty
Yeah.
fun. But I think this is a game that just needs more expansions because as it is right now, I think I would do this. I think just as the base game, unless I'm willing to get expansions, I don't think I am.
I don't think I mean that's just a game opinion philosophy thing for us, but we like when the base game itself is good
It has
and
standalone.
expansion it's good as a game on its own. And then expansions just add to it, versus expansions are required for the base game to be good.
Yeah, and that's sort of what this game is. We feel anyway. So
Yeah. Bye bye, real time.
see you later. And next we have the 1 to 4 player game, Age of Galaxy. Age of Galaxy is a fast, compact, sci-fi civ builder where everything revolves around how you use your limited hand of multi-use faction cards, forming alliances, gaining powers, conquering planets, or converting them into resources. This one is Age of Galaxy, which I really enjoyed. It is lighter.
Another 45-minute hour
Yeah,
game.
yeah. No,
But I love this game. It was very good.
yeah,
For
it was pretty good.
I hate comparing all the games in the amount of time it takes to play the game, but it's like, okay, if you have an hour to do something, right? Like, and then you decide which game to play. You want to play the game that you know you'll have the most fun doing so.
Yeah.
And out of the games talked about today, this is definitely by far my favorite.
Yeah, playtime's important. Playtime's important. It's sort of like when you watch those comedies and horror movies from like the 90s and early 2000s, they all clocked in at under 90 minutes. You know, they knew their place. They knew not to overstay their welcome. Now, I know every fucking movie's like 3 hours long, but this game doesn't overstay its welcome. If this was like an hour and a half, you'd feel it. You'd feel it because the actions themselves are incredibly simple. They are. They're really simple. But what makes the game interesting is the alien powers, of which you only have 7. So you have this really tight hand of cards. You will not get any more cards. They are multi-use, and you have to make like perfect use of them all. And they're all really varied. Like the powers themselves, they're pretty
all
creative.
Yeah. I did feel that this game, unlike the other ones, it actually you do feel like you have a lot of decisions to make. Like you are in control of a lot of things.
You do.
And then there's one I live about it. It's like there's the main shared board. It's not limiting, like only one person can go there, but there are a couple of spots that nobody really cares for, so you could really leverage those particular areas and that be your strategy. And then the other spots that everybody goes for, like it you have unique player abilities that can make that more worth it or less worth it for you to like use that and optimize based on that.
Yeah.
So the game is just, it allows for different strategies and different like experience of play, and I like that. Like playing again and again, you want that variety.
Yeah, and I like that the fact that like unlike the other last 2 games we went over, there is like a okay amount of interaction. It's not as much as I would prefer, but there's a decent amount because at the end of every round, whoever has the most fleets becomes like the galactic emperor for the round, and they get to freely colonize a planet. And sometimes those planets can be your planets if you don't protect them properly. And there are some cards that can interact with other players. So yeah, I think I'd keep this one.
Yeah, I would definitely keep this one. I
Yeah.
would definitely want to play it again.
Yeah.
And for like an hour of a game, like, it does feel very strategic for a 1 hour game,
It
but
does.
also still very light that you could pull it out with anybody.
Yeah, it's a cool game. And next we have the 1 to 4 player game, Bohemians. Bohemians is a quirky pattern building card game where you're drafting eccentric artists and arranging them into a personal tableau to score bonuses based on how their symbols and muses line up. A game about being an unemployed artist bum. That's not true, actually, though there are jobs in this. Never mind. That's okay, because you actually specifically have a job that you can decide every single round whether or not you want to place it or forgo it and then get syphilis.
Yeah, the most fun thing about this game was
That's how you get syphilis.
passing syphilis around.
Basically, in the game, you have these like negative cards, which you can get if you don't go to work, and then you can also get through various interactions and various other things. You can get rid of them through deck thinning, but
They all know how you get syphilis.
do they? Is that our audience? but speaking in general, the game itself, I guess it suffers from the same fate as Railroad Tiles. It feels really almost too simple. Like I'm fine with these types of games, but there's only so many I can have in my collection. This game really does just come down to playing cards in specific rows and then matching up those symbols. And every time, every single round starts, I look at my hand of cards and I feel like I could swap out anybody else. Like I could give my cards to Kim, I could give my cards to Mark, and they would make the exact same decisions I would.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like there's a big decision space. It feels kind of limiting in that sense, but I did enjoy this game. For the same like 45-minute playtime, this was Railroad Tiles. This was a much more fun game. There was more interesting decisions to be made, but what was limiting was the cards that you got in your hand and your deck. So for that like deck builder aspect of it, like the cards lacked real variety. And I think that was part of the problem for me.
Some of the cards did have powers on them, but they sort of fell few and far between. And this is one of those games where if one person gets ahead, even with the starter deck, if they get a really good hand at the start of the game, they're going to snowball and they're going to snowball fast and you're going to be left behind and you will not catch up. And it won't be anything that it won't be because you made a bad decision. It'll just be because you just didn't get those cards. So Bohemians for me, it's a competent game, but yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one too.
I like it, but it's not a game I think I would really crave ever.
Well, you have one veto power. I didn't say it at the top of the show. We each have one veto power. So if you don't want me to get rid of the game, or if you don't want to get rid of a game, then you can play that card.
So I don't know
one
actually the
time.
games that we are looking at today for this video. I don't know which games are up for Trash or Treasure. So I don't really want to spend it so early on.
That's the strategy. We'll see if it pays. We'll see if it plays off, Cotton. And next is the 2 to 4 player game, Echoes of Time. Echoes of Time is a tableau building card game built around a rotating action track where your cards slide forward each round, unlocking abilities only when they reach the active row. So Echoes of Time is a pretty interesting game. I did enjoy it. I like the mechanic of essentially when you have your cards, you place them out on your tableau and your tableau sort of like shifts over time and you push it along. And then once it gets to the end of the track, that's when it gets played. It's an interesting mechanic primarily because I really enjoy a sort of like, I like when games have a sort of like delayed gratification to them. And I think Echoes does that really, really well.
I will agree. The mechanism of the sliding and over time something gets once off the board you can activate it. That to me I loved. Some of the player individual like cards and the powers I loved. What felt strange to me was this game I feel conflicted by. I like a lot of these mechanisms and the card variability and stuff, but I felt that I was truly unlucky in this game. And I rarely feel that. A lot of games are luck-based and it's kind of is what it is. But this game doesn't feel like it's supposed to be luck-based and I felt really unlucky. Like play after play, I felt like I couldn't get the right combination of cards that I was drawing versus the ones I've activated. And it's based on like color distribution and like the right coordination, like the thing you activate is yellow, the card you have to play would have to be yellow, that kind of thing. I just kept getting unlucky that I could never get the right cards together. And I don't know if it's just the way the game's designed that allows for that imbalance.
There's not a lot of flexibility in the game's and what it grants the players to control. Like it's pretty strict, and yeah, you can get kind of caught behind the 8 ball a few times. I did enjoy it, but I don't know if there's like a trend in all the games that we were going through so far, but I think it's another turtle game that just feels like it's missing something, and what it's missing is probably some like key expansion to make it better.
And it's also a 45-minute game.
Yeah, and it's also quick. It's also a quick game. But a lot of the cards themselves start to feel a little samey. Like the powers that they provide don't feel particularly creative, despite the fact that they have another new mechanic beyond other cards to work with, right? Because they can work with the track itself by shifting it along and whatnot. There's certainly a lot of decisions to make. I'm hesitant to get rid of it because we've only played it like three times, maybe 3 times. It's a weird place to be in where I'm not like craving the game. I'm just more like, I'll give it another shot and I'll skip. Just get rid of it, I guess.
Yeah, if it's not a treasure, it's kind of
Yeah,
might clutter your house.
Yeah, that's sort of the purpose of this series, right? Like, it's to encourage everybody to go through their collection and get rid of the crap that they don't need. We all have shit we just don't need.
And I
So
think like that's like the influencing. Like that's the big like term for it right now is when we're convincing you to not buy things, to not
yeah, well, it's
yeah, the influence.
yeah.
But I would not run out and buy this game.
No, it's good. It's not great. And eventually in your collection you only have room for great. So goodbye. And next we have the 1 to 4 player game Fromage. Fromage is a simultaneous turn worker placement game where you'll be crafting specialty cheeses, managing livestock, and timing your production cycles to meet shifting market demands and turn a very cool Lazy Susan. Fromage is a really cool concept of a game. Like it's really interesting, and I love the art. It's a beautiful game. If you're not familiar, you essentially get to place the worker where the quadrant is currently facing you, and then once you've placed it, you shift to Lazy Susan, and then you have a new area where you can place your worker. Uh, I'm going to continue this trend. It is one of these games that feels like it requires expansions because as fun as that mechanic is, I'm beginning to notice that after repetitive plays, everything's sort of starting to bleed together. And because there's only like 4 actions that you perform almost, like 4 primary actions, every play is starting to feel a little samey. Like, you know what I mean?
I only played this game twice, so he's did it more than I have. But I really like this game so far.
It's cool.
And
It's a cool game.
and contrary to those games where you do really one mechanism, like main mechanism, like placing workers out, I don't know. This one felt more interesting. This one felt more strategic, more complicated, and to me, complicated is a good thing, not necessarily like too confusing, but more things to think about, more things to consider, more potential like options to do. And each of these spots on these quadrants that come to you, they each have their own challenge in a way, like scoring differently. And so like every single turn I felt like, oh, something to think about. Like, oh right, the thing I left on its own, 3, 4 turns ago. It's come back and I'm gonna reconsider this. I enjoyed it. I really liked
But
it.
it does feel like one of those games that needs like if the quadrants were swappable and you could take out the quadrant and replace it with a different quadrant, it feels like there should be like more than just 4. Do you know what I mean? Like there should be like 12 in the box or something, and you can sort of mix and match and like have an
That's
entirely new game every single time. Um, but
room for expansion.
yeah, I guess it's another game with room for expansion. But as the base game, it's a good game. It's just not a great game, but it is doing something that but most other games aren't doing. And I do really appreciate that sort of like that almost yeah, the spatial, and not just that too, but the spatial puzzle of it, or like more like a time strategy, because you only get your workers back when the head of the cheese wheel, because you put their workers in little cheeses, points back to you. So the harder and more beneficial the reward, the longer it's going to take during that rotation for that worker to come back. And I really like that because it adds another dimension to the choices that I make on any given turn that I really have to think about beyond just like, I want to get this cheese. I want to get
Yeah.
this.
We really like games that allow for complex strategy, and I think that's gonna keep showing through like all the games that we like. Even if they're short or long games, they have to like be enough of a brain scratcher for us to really sink our teeth into.
Yeah. And the fact that this is like real time. We should have mentioned that. That's like the major thing of the game. It's real time. And for a real time game that isn't like a roll and write game or like what you typically expect for a real time game, because it's a worker placement game, it's cool. It's cool. We'll keep this around. Unless you want to buzz it, I'll take it.
No, I want to keep it.
Yeah, we'll keep it. And next we have the 1 to 4 player game, The Hobbit, There and Back Again. The Hobbit, There and Back Again is a fantasy roll and write adventure where players draft dice and draw winding paths across their personal maps to complete story-driven missions that inspired Bilbo's journey. Another Lord of the Rings game. You can never have too many, apparently. And this one is a roll and write this time, but also by the great Rainer Knizia.
I really like the game, but I also always like roll and write games, so I don't have much to comment. I know you don't like it.
I don't like roll and write games. I typically don't like them. I think this one's decent. If you're unfamiliar, you roll your dice, and then each player will get to draft a certain die and then draw the pattern on that die. So it'll be like, oh, you drafted that road, and what you're trying to do essentially is you have like, I think it's 12 different missions. It's not necessarily a legacy or a campaign game. You can just mix and match and go wherever you like. But I think there's like 12 missions, and each one will have something you doing something different, but it's usually like building a path to do something. So, well, I'll just spoil the first one because it's the first one. In the first one, you're trying to get all the dwarfs, and then I think Gandalf to your dinner party. You're trying to get them to your
It's so
house. It's
cute.
the start of the journey, right? And I feel like it's not particularly interesting.
I think of the game as I know we don't love this word, but it's a very cozy game to me. Like we play it on the couch, we play it like, you know, by the fireplace in front of the TV. Like it's a very cozy game to be. Like a lot of golden rights are. And yeah, it's not what was that face? It's not
don't like cozy.
You don't like a lot of things.
That's true.
There's still enough complex strategy. It's not super complex. It's just like there's enough like it's not just you know, some games you can just turn off your brain and just play the game and just what comes out.
Yeah, this.
No, this is not it. You still have to think about how to optimize for some different tracks. And what the best like route is so every dwarf is dwarf.
Yeah, you said it.
That's a dwarf.
I think you just said it with some weird accent.
Heavy dwarf is fed. And I really like those types of games where it's fun and light, but not too light. It's still thinky enough.
It's fine. We've only gone through I think like 3 chapters, so I don't know. Oh, hey, you know what? Let's. I'm gonna do this, and then you can use your veto if you want.
That's not fair.
Well, because
use it just.
yeah, I'm gamifying this because now I eliminate your thingy.
All right.
Eliminate it.
I'll use my veto. This is my one veto.
It's gone. Remember that.
Game.
Gone.
No.
Yeah, your veto's gone.
Oh, my veto's
Yeah,
gone.
no.
The game is gone.
No, you lose your veto and the game. It's gone. It was a trick. It was this ploy. Yeah, we'll keep it. And next we have the 2 to 6 player game, Kinfire Council. Kinfire Council is a worker placement game where you're tasked with rebuilding the city by sending workers to collect resources and upgrade buildings, all while taking care of the cult of Altan, who interferes by just getting in your way and being really, really, really annoying. Kinfire Council is an interesting game. It's one of those games with a lot of stuff going on, and that can seem incredibly complicated when you first go parse the rule book. It at times feels a little procedural. It's sort of like I do this, and then this, and then this, and then this space has this action, and then you do this. But I like it. I think it's a good game.
I love this game.
Yeah.
I thought it was so fun. It was definitely complicated.
At first.
Yeah, when you first played it, it felt like complicated because everybody's play problems are very different. And so your strategy is very different. So you kind of like, I don't know if you ever do this, but sometimes I'm doing something I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this right? Is this like good? You don't know if it's going to pay off in the end. You don't know if you're going to get like a whack with a victory point of this is the right route to go for. And sometimes because everyone's doing a different thing, there's no like, I can't tell who's going to win. And that's both good and bad. But the decision space was really fun. I like the different 3D levels of places to go. I don't know how I felt about the cult.
Yeah, the cult. So the cult basically comes around and they mess things up, basically. But the cult does provide another avenue for strategy because they can essentially block people from places.
You can join the cult.
Yeah, you can arrest them. So there's various things you can do to interact with them, and that which goes beyond the typical thing you would see in a game where it's just like, like a fire mechanic where it's just, oh, this spot's gone. Oh, you're messed up. Nothing you can do. There's ways in which you can interact with them. And I think the game offers you a good variety of different ways to customize both the game through the course of play by providing all these, like, all the buildings are upgradable, which is really neat. So, and you get a bonus when somebody else goes there. So some light interaction, that positive interaction. And then you also have your own player that you get, and there's various powers that you can accumulate throughout the course of the game. It's a lot, but it's interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said, I really, really like this game. I think it was really, like, I think one big thing for me too is, if I really like a game, to can play with it, I have to still have the same aspects of what I liked, but it has to be different and unique enough. I don't feel like I'm just repeating the first game all over again. And so I found that every time I played the game, there was still the elements I liked, which was based on your particular player's abilities, you can come up with a different strategy. And every single time I still felt that same level of like satisfied satiation from doing a really cool move or like doing something I thought was very unique.
Yeah,
so
it's a cool game.
This game,
we'll be keeping it, and I'd wager it'd probably appear in one of our top 10s for the end of the year, probably.
Or I could trash it now, and you have to use your veto power.
Nah, you won't do it. We'll keep this game. And next we have the 1 to 4 player game, Forestry. Forestry is an action point game where players take on the challenge of cultivating and sustaining a forest while making buildings, fulfilling contracts, and making weird things that should probably never be made out of wood, like bicycle helmets. So Forestry is the most Euro of Euro board games. It is Euroing all over the place. But it is a good Euro game. Like it is a solid game. And it has a decent amount of interaction, all of which is begrudgingly, as I have to admit it, I enjoy, is all polite and nice. There's no mean. Well, that's not true. You can be a little mean in this game.
Why do you want to be mean in every game?
I just want to be mean. I want to be mean in every game because I'm competitive.
I'm competitive and I want mean.
There are ways in which you can sort of get in people's way here and there and sort of block people's spaces off. But more often than not, you're kind of doing your own thing. I love the sort of shared space on the primary board where you do a lot of your actions because it's basically a worker placement game, but you only have one worker and you sort of move him around. Well, 2 workers actually, because you have another construction worker type person on the periphery. Yeah, I don't think there's not a ton here that I think is entirely unique or creative. Like I can't think of any mechanism that is a standout mechanism in this game. I think it's just doing everything very competently.
Yeah,
Do you know what
I
I mean?
agree. I agree when the word competent, I think, is very an accurate description for the game because it feels like it is a well put together game. And actually, I would even say it does feel pretty intuitive.
But I do like that this is one of those games where it's essentially just maximizing efficiency to the utmost because there is like a round counter where you're going to get a little bonus at the start of every round. And I think there's 9 or 8. So you could see that clock just sort of ticking and every move really matters. Like really, really matters. It sort of feels like White Castle in that respect where like you almost get stressed because you just like, there's no wasted opportunity. And I will say the one that sucks is that like it costs an action to move your guy, but you don't typically get things as you're moving, except for the construction worker, which it feels unrewarding when the game is rewarding with so many other things, and you have so little time to do all the things you want to do because you're not going to do everything you want. You're not going to move up. It's a Euro game, right? So you're not going to move up all the tracks you want to move up on, but the tracks you can move up on are interesting. There's a lot of comboing. It
The
is that
trunk with the little like table you can put cubes on to decide if you want a one-time use thing or an extra
Yeah.
ability. I really like that. And you didn't like it, but the 2 like little table like things where you can put if you pick up a specific, I don't know what they're called, like these little white tokens can fill up the table. And
Oh, that felt like the weirdest part of the game.
yeah, like I like all these like little tables that you complete and you complete a row or a column and you get bonus thing. I really like that kind of mechanism. But like
It's playing Euro bingo, basically.
yeah,
It's like
it's
covering up
so fun.
these bloody slots. Like, I don't know.
It feels nice. I like it. I felt really good about it.
If you're not the biggest Euro fan, you're not gonna like this game. If you really love Euros, I think you'll love Forestry. I do. If you're on the fence, you won't like it.
These types of games, Euro games particularly, I think this makes me feel smart. Some like the
No, it's true.
scrolling games
That's
like
true.
this make you feel like lucky or unlucky,
That's true.
and Euro games make you feel like, oh, look at me, I'm so smart. I beat my
Yeah, I think well, I don't know about that one, but but I think there's something great about a game for sort of facilitating in its players like a feeling of like power and agency. And yeah, you should feel a little clever. There should be moments in a game where you're able to sort of like take a step back and look at everybody and be like, check me out, guys. I'm
yeah, the number
brilliant.
of times both of us actually like look at my like I'm like actually watch my moves. Look at me do this and with this and this.
Stop
and
thinking about
this
your
and
moves.
this.
Watch me.
Yeah, and I don't think it happens with a lot of games, but some games that are very Euro and very, I feel manipulated. I feel like the game has made me feel smart.
Oh,
Remember
100. That's what they're doing.
like a parent
Yeah.
and you give your kid a stick and you'd be like, "Good job, you're so great." It feels like that. It's like
I mean, you're getting rewarded with victory points. That's just like that's cookies. That's cookies and milk. It's Euro cookies and milk. Okay, so we're gonna keep this.
yes, I would love
We'll
it.
have to give it a few more plays before we really come down hard on it.
But it's one of the core mechanisms that we enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, keep it. A Wild Venture is a lightweight engine building card game where you construct and cycle through a constantly changing village tableau, triggering abilities, collecting resources, and cashing in sets for points. And last we have a
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Yeah, a Wild Venture. Don't say Adventure Time, they'll get sued. But
It
yes,
looks like Adventure Time.
it does. The art is very, very, very similar. To its benefit, I love Adventure Time.
It looks like it. It smells like
It
it.
does smell like Adventure Time. This is one of those games that I think is just like decent. I think it's a decent game. If you're not familiar, basically there's like two portions of the game. There's laying out your cards and there's moving around the shared board. The problem I have with the game is that there seems like a big strategic, no, not strategic, but there's just a thematic disconnect between the cards you're playing and the shit you're doing on the board. Like you're just kind of going up this track and it feels very like almost archaic in its game design. Like one of those old games you remember as a kid, just like the get the resources.
It's like going like in a straight line. It's not like you have a lot of options. I do agree that there's a big disjointed feeling. And actually I find a very similar game that does like the main board and then you building out like your what do you
Your
call it?
tableau.
Yeah, tableau of cards, I think is Creature Caravan. Very similar idea. This main board, this your tableau, but that one felt a lot more almost intuitive in why you move through the board. This one felt like I have to move up the boards. I need resources.
Yeah, I think a lot more could have been done with that board. The board itself feels very half-baked. I think
It's cute though.
it is
The
cute.
art is super cute.
The card play is good.
Yes.
The card play is definitely what's carrying this game, and the fact that there's sort of like this expiry mechanism where you're playing your card out and you might want this ongoing bonus it provides, but there's also a bonus that if you start taking tokens off it or putting tokens, I don't remember what are you supposed to do. It's either taking them off or putting them on. But anyway, if you burn through the amount of actions you can do on that card, it'll be like a totally different action. It might be worthwhile in the end, but you'll lose that power. And I like that. I like that decision space. I think that's interesting. And a lot of the cards are like that. They're cards that you're not going to have on your tableau forever.
And the fact that I can think like, oh, I have a very similar game that I really, really like. This game just is good. Is good as on its own. But because I have this other one,
And it's yeah, and it's a type friggin' like it's a competitive area to be in, right? Because it's a two-player only board game.
yeah,
And
and it plays in that same 45-minute.
yeah, and there's
range.
just so many games that occupy this space that also employ tableau building, but are also a bit more interesting. We mentioned Ironwood, I think, once or twice in this game. Are we gonna crave this over Ironwood? No, we're not.
Actually, my default think of like tableau building also goes back to like Everdell.
Never know. Yeah, or Ebel.
Every
So that weirdly.
yeah, and the reason I have that thought too is that's also super cute. You know,
It's
like
also cute.
I don't know why my head a category of games is cute games. Is the visual appeal is a big part of why you bother
well,
to
yeah, of
take
course,
the
of
thing and
course.
put it all out, right? And so, in terms of cute games, this is cute. But unless you really love Adventure Time, I would pick one of those games over this one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think. Oh, did you press it? I think you pressed
Yeah,
it.
I did.
Okay, well, I also pressed it. So this will
You
not
have
be
a
getting
shared
me up.
opinion.
Yeah. And that was a 5 for 5. We've success. We've done it. Okay. We got rid of 5 games. We're keeping 5 games. That means whatever was in this mystery box, we don't have to get rid of. You open it. Go. Not open it.
It's
Just
actually an open box.
yeah, but there's a sheet on top. I don't want to seal a box.
I can't lift this up. It's kind of too close
Oh,
to the
okay, okay.
edges. I can't believe you tried to get rid of Dinosaur World.
Yeah. Why didn't my? No, that's true. I put in there. I put that in there.
I love this game.
There was no friend. I put this in here because I didn't want it. And I was like, oh, maybe we can make sure to not.
You know,
not have me-
those like people that like, oh, I'm doing this for my friend. For my friend, you know, my friend would like to know how to do this.
The first few were, but this one, no, I put this one in
He
here.
ran out of friends.
Yeah, that too. I ran out of friends. We didn't have somebody come over. No, I just wanted to get rid of it because I hate it.
So rude. You should
Hate it.
ask our Discord group.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with the Discord group, definitely join it. There's like almost 30 people now. It's good.
Yeah, and you guys
I make them play games with me.
you make them.
Yeah.
And
Teach me games. Teach me games. I got so many games I need to learn.
yeah, they can take a vote or they can nominate
true.
some games for us to get rid of.
Yeah, I like this one. This one sucks.
This is a great game.
No, listen, we have Roar and Right.
Lauren, right?
Roar and Right, which I think
Yeah.
does the exact same stuff that this is doing,
It's a cozy
but like
version. For the couch.
1/4 the time, like just a lot quicker
So
and a lot more fun.
it's different. This is like
This is convoluted,
no.
overly bloated
No.
trash.
You were overly bloated trash.
It just is. Like I don't like this game.
I love this game. So you need like I love the feeling of this game, and also the fact that like it has that table sprawl feeling, that kind of, you know, very
Oh, it's a
like
sprawler.
royal kind of feeling.
I don't
Like,
know, royal.
having the table, and it's this whole it's nice whole it's like a whole theme park, and you like see it like come to life. And the Roaring, right, is like the cute version when you want that same feeling, but you want a cuter, cozier version on the couch for the fireplace, then you do the Roaring right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I'll just sell it when you're not looking.
What?
Okay, so that's Trash or Treasure. You got a bonus review, +1. So let us know if you appreciate the format. Let us know if we got anything wrong. We will be at PAX. We will be at PAX this Thursday. Oh no,
Tomorrow.
I'll probably be posting this after we're done at PAX. We were at PAX. You should have came and said hello. Why didn't you? You're a bad person. Okay, bye.
Bye.